Hola, muy buenos. In this session we're going to have a look at the past tense, we call the preterite, or preterito. So its function, let's have a look at its function first. So it describes events in the past, basically saying what happened, or what occurred. Last week I bought a book and I visited my grandma, so we're showing that it's a past action. Last week I bought, I visited. In Spanish, some typical time indicators that we might want to use. Ayer, yesterday. A good one here, hace momentos, hace días, hace semanas, hace meses, hace años, which it translates as ago. So a couple of moments ago, hace dos momentos, hace dos días, 2 days ago, hace dos días, 2 days ago. So obviously showing that's the past tense. Recientemente, recently. En el pasado, el fin de semana pasado, last weekend. In the past. And there are lots of variations, lots of combinations that we can use. Okay, so that's the function. As ever, let's have a look and see if we can look at how it is formed. Okay, so this forms part of a sequence of verbs, which is, we have like 2 steps, and I like to think of them as 2 steps. First of all, we identify the verb in the infinitive, so that's going to be ending in AR, ER, and IR, and that's the part that you'd find in the dictionary when you look the word up. But it doesn't give a lot of information. It just tells you, for example, here we've got comprar, which just means to buy, so we don't know who's buying, we don't know when this buying is going on. So, the first step is identify your verb. Is it AR, ER and IR? Well, this is an AR verb. Step 1, we're going to remove, so we need to take away that infinitive ending, that AR ending, to give us what we call our root. And our root word is what we're going to add an ending to, a suffix. Okay, we like using the word root. It fits in with our literary strategy. Again, we're going to have a look at adding something to our roots. That's our next step. So step 1 is we're taking away that infinitive ending indicator, the AR, ER and IR, AR in this case. Let's have a look at step 2. So step 2 is where we add. So this is where we now form our subject pronouns. In English, I, you, he, she, we, you, and they. In Spanish, the equivalents are over here. So we've got haste, o, amos, hastais, aron. And they will then go on to our root word. So this is our suffix. This will then go on to our root word. So, compré, I bought. Compré, compraste, you bought. Could be used in the question. Compraste algo? Did you buy something? Compró, he or she bought. Compramos, we bought. Comprasteis, you plural, so that's a group of people. Comprasteis algo? Did you buy something? Compraron, compraron, they bought. So that's a sequence for an AR, a regular AR verb. Haste, o, amos, hastais, aron. Okay, so we're now going to look at an IR verb. So we're looking at an IR verb. The process is exactly the same. However, when we come to our subject endings, they're slightly different. They've got more of an I feel to them because it's an IR verb, but the process is the same. So let's just have a look at that process again. We take our verb in the infinitive, elegir, to choose. Again, we don't know who's choosing or when the choosing is going on. We take off our infinitive ending to give us our root, eleg, and let's have a look at those IR endings. As we say, we've got a bit of an I feel going through. We've got I, iste, io, imos, isteis, ieron. So when we put those together, we'll have elegí, I chose, elegiste, you chose, elegio, he or she chose, elegimos, we chose, elegisteis, you plural, chose, and elegieron, they chose. So, as you can see, for an IR verb in the infinitive, the process is exactly the same. The only difference is we're just using different endings to put onto our root word. Okay, let's have a look at our third category of verb. These are ER verbs. And we've got the verb comer, to eat. Again, we don't know who's eating, we don't know when the eating's going on. So let's see what happens the process is going to be exactly the same. We need to take away and then we need to add. So let's take away, which gives us com, there's our root. Let's have a look what happens when we want to add. Well, you will see that they're exactly the same as for an IR verb. So ER and IR verbs share the same endings, which just make life a little bit easy. So we get comí, I ate. Comiste, you ate. Comío, he or she ate. Comimos, we ate. Comisteis, you plural ate. And comieron, they ate. So that's really good. So we're doing less work. So we're being more efficient. We're being very efficient with our verbs. And it just means you've got slightly fewer endings to remember. So we're comí, comiste, comío, comimos, comisteis, comieron. So there, if you like, that's the good news. So instead of having to learn 18 different endings, as you do with that present tense, we're just having to learn 12 different endings. So that's good news. There's a feeling there might be some bad news coming up. Well, there is, because typically with Spanish we have some irregular verbs, and these irregular verbs are very common verbs. And I've just identified sort of 5 major verbs that we use on a regular basis, and they just happen to be irregular. So we've got hacer, to do, so did, hice, I did, hiciste, you did, hizo, he or she did, hicimos, we did, hicisteis, you plural, hicieron. But you can see, apart from our first one, there is something which is slightly regular within those. And this major verb, ir, to go, so we're talking about past experiences, fui, I went, fuiste, you went, maybe did you go, ¿dónde fuiste? ¿Dónde fuiste el verano pasado? Where did you go last year? Fue, he or she went, fuimos, we went, fuisteis, you as a group went, and fueron, they went. Next one, we've got the verb tener, to have. Interesting verb, this becomes tuve, I had, tuviste, you had, tuvo, he or she had, tuvimos, we had, tuvisteis, you plural had, and tuvieron, they had. And then estar, when we're using to be, so we're talking about place, things which we see are non-permanent, so maybe used with adjectives, used with place. Very similar to tener, estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, estuvisteis, estuvieron. And then you see this verb ser, so this is to be, but when we're talking about things which are permanent, so colours, nationalities, etc., well, it's exactly the same as the verb ir in the past. Fui, fuiste, fue. This is one which might be used a lot. Fue, it was. ¿Qué tal las vacaciones? Fue genial, fue estupendo. Fuimos, fuisteis, fueron. You might want to just also check out some of these other verbs which are irregular in the past tense. Ver, to see. Saber, to know, to have knowledge of. Decir, to say. Poner, to put. So those are some useful verbs to look at. As ever, if you want to go and look at some conjugation of verb, use wordreference.com. If you want to practice some of these, go on to LanguageTube. Two really good sites to make your learning more effective. Okay, so a quick resume. Past tense in Spanish. So we're looking at the idea of identifying the verb. Is it AR, ER, and IR? Once we've done that, first step, we take away to give us our root, and then we add our endings. Okay, I hope you use this one effectively. Really good tense to talk about what you did. Thank you. Muchísimas gracias. Adiós y hasta la próxima.